Today, we're building a charming and rustic Rudolph the gold-nosed reindeer using inexpensive wood and very few tools. So go grab your tools and let's start this wood story. For this project, you're going to need a piece of wood that's approximately 28 inches long or 70 centimeters by just under 12 inches, which is just under 30 centimeters. I've chosen this really nice pine that's rustic that has some really cool patterns on it, which will create a really cool effect in the end. And I've gone ahead and used my laser just to trace the outline on here before going over on my bandsaw. But you can use the shapes that I have provided for you down in the description. Just print them on your home printer, cut them out, and then lay them on top and use them as shapes. And you can cut these out using either a bandsaw or a jigsaw. The choice is yours. I finished cutting all my pieces over on the bandsaw and it looks great. Barely any burn mark. That is the benefit of working with pine. And I'm absolutely loving how this rustic pine is just really bringing the reindeer to life. I think I'll still go ahead and just lightly sand the edges, but other than that, I am not planning on doing any sanding to this guy. Once all of our pieces are cut, we're gonna need to connect them together. And certain spots you can absolutely just use glue if you'd like. However, if you want yours to be able to rotate, then what you can do is you can use a doweling jig. And I have this Jessam doweling jig, but you can get really inexpensive ones from Amazon. It costs like 20 bucks because really all we need to do is make a hole on both sides. We want to add one dowel right here in the middle. And that way, when we've made those two holes, the head will be able to rotate afterwards, which is going to create a really fun effect.
Before cutting out my holes, I'm just making a mark where I want the dowel piece to go.
I have my head, I have my body, and I have my mark. I'm now taking these two pieces and I'm putting them opposite like this, and then lined up, I'm putting them into my clamp. I'm not putting a lot of pressure on my clamp because I don't want to leave marks. And then I'm going to take my doweling jig and I'm going to put it approximately where my mark is. Actually, one thing that I did forget is you always want to check how far of a distance it is. So I have my drill bit here, and that's how much it's going to go through right now. And you want it to be half, so this works perfectly. Now we can drill our first hole. So there, now we have our first hole. So now what we do is we take one of our pegs, we put it in, and then we flip this around opposite right here, and then we clamp it again, and now we can drill our second hole.
And now we have two perfect mating holes ready for a dowel. And we're going to continue in the same fashion with the rest of the body. Now, pending your type of doweling jig, you might find that some areas will be easier to line up than others, just because some of these have curves. In some cases, I decided to use a second clamp to really get a good hold on.
When you get to the part where you need to drill the tail to the body, you may want to change your drill to a smaller one because the original one that we were using is quite beefy and the tail is quite small. So if you do use the same one, you can risk that it might break. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to a much smaller one, and I'm going to drill that through here and into the body, and hopefully that will prevent some breakage. There we go. So it's now time to attach the legs, which is, in my opinion, the trickiest part because you want them to be straight when they're standing on the ground. So that means we have to determine how to get these legs on here properly on both sides where they actually line up. And there's many different ways that you can attach these legs. You can 100% go ahead and use the dowels again. If you do that, you drill a dowel or hole all the way through here, and then you make a hole on each side of the legs that go no more than halfway through the wood, and then you can attach it that way. That will allow you to be able to continue to move these legs. And I did do an example of that, so I'll show you this one. So this was a different one that I did, where you can see that here is the dowel, and the hole is cut through, and now I can add that back in, and the legs can move. And that might be something that you want to do because it is a fun feature, especially if it's more of a toy. The problem, of course, is that it's not gonna stay on. If you add glue, then you're gonna remove the ability to actually swirl these legs. So something else that you could do is, you could use something that's called Chicago bolts. These are bolts that you drill all the way through, and then you would have a little bit of hardware showing on the one side, but this would allow it to be able to move its leg completely. So if you'd like that feature, then absolutely go ahead and find a Chicago bolt in the correct size. Now for me, this one is not going to be big enough, and it is the biggest one that I have right now, so I'm not going to be using the Chicago bolts. I have determined that what I want to do with this one is I want it just to be able to stand. And even if I make the legs nice and straight, I think the biggest problem is going to be that it's still going to be a little bit unstable. So I'm planning on making a platform for it afterwards. So because I'm doing that, I'm actually just going to use a nail gun, and I'm going to nail that in on both sides. And then afterwards, we'll make some pieces that we'll put the other way, which is going to give it some extra stability. In order to align the legs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place them gently in approximately the position where I think they are correct. And I'm just going to use a counter piece to keep them upright here. And then I'm just going to use a straight edge, and I'm going to put it all the way up against so that both feet are touching this straight edge right there. And then I'm just going to visually look at it again to see if that looks good. And I'm not going to use any pencil marks, because if I start making pencil marks right now, then I'm going to have a hard time removing that afterwards, because I'm planning on nailing them in. So really, I want to just double check that I like the positioning. Okay, so maybe I feel like that one should be a little bit more over here. Okay. So I'm going to put my little counterweight down again, do a final check here that it's still nice and straight. Perfect. Yeah, I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my, I think I just rotated slightly. I'll do another double check once I have the first one in. I'm just going to take this right here, right in the middle, and give it a 1. That's it. I just needed to do 1. And then the other one again, I'm just going to double check that it's still accurate. Perfect. And same thing. I'm going to take my nail gun right there in the middle. And there you go.
And with the one side completed, you can now flip it over and do the exact same thing on the other side. Just make sure to check your alignment as you add that single nail.
So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add some glue to this point, because again, this is just attached with some dowels. And I'm also gonna add some glue to the tail, but the head, I'm gonna leave loose fitting.
I almost forgot about the ears. Same thing, I'm just gonna use my stapling gun to attach each one of these on both sides again. I'm going to make the base for the reindeer in the same material, which is the rustic pine, and it's going to end up being about 5 by 11.5 inches. And I'm just going to cut this over on my miter saw. Afterwards, I'm cutting off the corners just to round it a bit, and then I'm taking it over to the router table just to give it a round over bit for a nice soft effect. Next, I'm attaching the legs of the reindeer to the new platform that I just made. I'm using a combination between some brat nails and a little bit of glue to hold it in place.
All the legs are on. I'm going to give it a couple more nails just for extra security, and then I'm also going to nail these parts again a few more times so that nothing will fall apart.
I decided to add a few little finishing touches. I added some gold leaf using just regular glue and then penciling on these little gold leaves to the nose. And I added some string to the tail for a nice little effect. And just like that, this reindeer was ready to be displayed and enjoyed. I particularly love the little finishing details, and I also went ahead and made him a little sign in order to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. How would you personalize your reindeer? Tell me down in the comments. And if you'd like to see another quick project, then check out this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time in the next Wood Story.